Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you are deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or probably poor, my name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman. You can hear all about me and my best friend Cody Rhodes at AEW Insider.
What's up, peeps? Welcome to this YouTube edition of the AEW Insider. Remember to check out our podcast. Let's get to the show. And our first story is about Brodus Clay, ex-WWE star. He used to be him in the Funkadelics. He used to say, somebody better call my mama. Well, he was fired from there. He went to Impact Wrestling. He got fired from there. And he actually might finally be getting fired from Fox News. Months ago, I reported that his co-worker on their show together, Fox Nation, Britt McHenry, said he was sexually harassing her. Instead of firing that piece of shit, they gave him his own show instead. Well, this morning, she finally filed charges against him and Fox. The complaint also names Fox Nation and Fox executive producer Jennifer Rochett, executive VP of development John Finley, and senior VP of human resources Monica McKeel as defendants, among others. She said, "The last thing I wanted to do was file this lawsuit, but I had to stand up for what's right for myself and for women." McHenry's lawsuit seeks monetary damages, alleged that Murdoch displayed volatile and unpredictable behavior at work and started sending her sexually suggestive text messages in October of 2018. They said, "I love ponytails and braids. You look amazing. It's a real turn on, not that you care, but I love it." One of the text messages said, according to the lawsuit, "The picture looks so good, I would knock up that picture. Crazy, love your legs," said another, according to the lawsuit. What a creepy POS. But he won't be getting his own show now. He'll be getting fired and a couple other people will, and she'll be getting paid. AEW. Well, the kick-ass Dark Order vignettes have been going strong, and this week's being the Elite, they hinted that they might be adding 2 new members. The members are Michael Nakazawa and Young Buck's best friend, Brandon Cutler. Those guys haven't got a win, I think, since they've been on a roster, and this is how they're going to try bumping their careers. Brandon Cutler is a huge talent, and so is Nakazawa. Ortiz and Santana, a.k.a. LAX, did an interview with the main man, Chris Van Vliet. They talked about why they chose AEW over WWE. The ultimate decision was, do we want to just be part of something that is already established, or do we want to be a part of something new and make history? No matter what happens with AEW again, we're here to make this successful. We'll always be part of the first main event of the first television of AEW. Do we want to be part of history or fade into black? Best case scenario, we're just going to be a small fish in the ocean if we go to WWE. Also, they said WWE and NXT road schedule is what factored into their decision too. WWE. Wrestlers Robert Roode and Primo Colon have both been suspended by the WWE for 30 days for their first-time offense for violating their wellness policy. In layman's terms, that means they were getting high on something and they both got popped when they did a random piss test. Renee Young did an interview with TV Insider. They asked her about working with Fox, CM Punk, what have you. This is what she had to say. "It's nice to have the resources of Fox. We work with the producers there to come up with what works and what doesn't work. We bounce off each other. Going back to what I was doing with WWE, one of the things I was most proud of and had the most fun with was talking smack. It was so loose. We really went out there with no script. We would wing it and try to make the best show we could. I think the fans really felt the authenticity from myself and Daniel Bryan. Now, to work with Fox to develop this show and turn it into something talking smack wasn't able to be. We want to do a service to WWE and Fox. Obviously, we keep our fans in mind with all of it. We want to cover as much as we can because we bounce stuff off WWE as well to see what they're comfortable with us talking about. I worked there for so long, I know exactly what that line is always going to be anyway. We're still developing the show and listening to what fans want. We're always on social media and seeing what people are into and not into. We're going to cover the big headlines and every action, but also other stuff going on, like Dana Brooks and Dave Bautista's weird love affair. That's happening online. So we try to cover as much as we can as the hour goes by quickly. I'm working with CM Punk. I saw on my timeline that Punk liked him coming back to the frozen caveman, coming back to life and checking out the wrestling world again. Fans respect Punk so much. To see him back in any capacity of the wrestling world is a huge win for everybody around. To see him get more comfortable in that spot, it's fun. It's cool to be there with him side by side as he is dipping his toe back into this world. To hear his perspective and to share that on television. I'm looking forward to see what happens this week coming up, as we always look for the honest opinion from him. Anything that strays from that would be a misstep, and we want unfiltered Punk on our show. And what she thinks about CM Punk returning to the ring. We're going to have to poke the bear because that's what everybody wants. Still to this day, every arena we go to at WWE, they chant his name. Everybody wants to see CM Punk back in a ring. Does he want to come back in a ring? I truly don't know. It seems like a never say never situation, so I don't foresee that happening in the near future. Dave Bautista did announce that he wants Finn Finlay to be the one who inducts him into Hall of Fame. For months now, I have been reporting on Cody Rhodes and AEW trademark and tons of stuff. Everything that the Rhodes was ever involved with, plus old WCW pay-per-view names. WWE's sick of it, and on December 6th, they filed a trademark for a slew of WCW and ECW pay-per-view names. They did Fully Loaded, Living Dangerously, Heat Wave, Anarchy Rules, World War III, Chi-Town Rumble, Sin, Sold Out, New Blood Rising, Hog Wild, Capital Combat, Road Wild, Greed, Uncensored, Spring Stampede, The Day of Mayhem, Beach Blast, Massacre on 34th Street, Hardcore Heaven, and Brock Lesnar's Eat, Sleep, Conquer, Repeat. They're trying to keep all their eggs in a basket now. After they let Bash at the Beach slip through their hands, they're not trying to let any more. On his recent podcast, Booker T gave his opinion of where he thinks Luke Harper should go, aka sign with. I didn't think the overalls was ever going to get over with me or anything like that. Was he talented? Very, very talented. Was he a guy that you couldn't wait to see next week? He didn't put himself in that position for that to happen. But when I see with Luke Harper, when I look at that box and I look at the big picture, I see him as Stan Hansen. I see New Japan or Japan written all over this kid. I see the guy working over there for many, many years and getting paid because they love big Americans like Luke Harper in Japan. I see Luke Harper having a great career even after WWE, making perhaps more money than he ever made in his life. Some people are made for Japan and made for that lifestyle. If Harper can be like Stan Hansen in Japan, he can make a lot of money. And I do agree. Look at the resurgence that Lance Archer's career is having right now. Sean X-Pac Waltman gave his thoughts on being inducted into the Hall of Fame 2 years in a row. He said, I'm happy, obviously, I'm grateful. No one has ever gone back-to-back years, and I venture to say it's probably not going to happen again. If they're handing out Hall of Fame rings, I'm definitely going to get mine. And as I kind of expected, some people are like, wait, why is X-Pac in there? Some people, when they started watching, I was already gone from WCW. But I was in there, and I was one of the ones who started it. X-Pac on who he also thinks should be inducted with the NWO. Bischoff and the Big Show should definitely be in with the NWO, and he thinks that 2 other people should get nominated just to be in the Hall of Fame. One is Christian. He's a former world champion. It's crazy he's not in it, and beyond the shadow of a doubt, he thinks William Regal. NWA news. Fightful.com sat down with NWA champ Nick Aldis and brought up him not defending his title in other promotions since NWA Power started. Aldis said he's still open to defending the title on any other promotion and on televised programs. This happened with regularity before Power, and he hasn't done it since. Said as long as everybody's on the same page and it works out, he's down to do it. He also touched on if he was ever offered to sign with AEW. All this said, I'll tell you the truth. I was made an offer by AEW. I countered offered with I like to be able to do both. I want to work with them NWA, and it really just never worked out, but I did leave it open. I spoke to Cody and the Bucks, and I said, if you could find a way to keep doing this show and my show, I'll definitely do it. And another just random news story. Ex-NWO member Scott Norton did an interview with Fightful.com, and he touched on what superstar he thought he could go toe-to-toe with in an arm wrestling match, and also what superstar currently he thinks is tough as nails. I agree with CM Punk last night on WWE Backstage. If you're going to induct the NWO, you need to induct the entire NWO, all 178 members. But Scott Norton said, probably Braun Strowman. I don't think there's anybody that can beat me. Just technique-wise, dude is a badass. He's a powerhouse. I respect everything he's done. You got to be a certain kind of guy to be able to do promos like that. Not everybody can do it, and he can. He also said, I love Joey Janela. I've had 3 matches with Joey, and that dude is a stud. He's the toughest little son of a bitch that's come down the line. He's not really a little guy, but he's not a big man. I banged on that's a tough son of a bitch. I'm so happy for Joey. He's one of the good guys, and he's doing really well in our business, and he's an outstanding professional wrestler and a hell of a guy. All right, peeps, I'll be back as soon as I can. Remember, even though you don't see me on YouTube, I do these shows all the time on my podcast. So on all podcasting platforms, Facebook and YouTube, it's the AEW Insider. And on Twitter, it's the AEW Insider 1. I'll be back soon with some awesome breaking wrestling news. Ciao, peeps.